Good afternoon, friends. We have Dr. Debraj Josh with us from Apollo Gleneagles Hospitals, Kolkata. Today we would be discussing obesity and COVID-19. Sir, if you could just give us a brief on the topic that we would discuss today.
Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Debraj Josh, working as a consultant pulmonologist at Apollo Gleneagles Hospital, Kolkata. Today, I have been given the task of delivering a talk on COVID-19 and obesity. The COVID-19 pandemic, actually, the WHO declared the COVID-19 as a pandemic, as we all know, on 12th March 2020. We all hope that it will not last for 1 or 2 months, and gradually with the progression of months it is spreading more and more, and we are still optimistic that we will have the end of COVID-19, but unfortunately still the peak hasn't yet reached and the numbers are increasing day by day. Now today the topic which I have been assigned, that is the COVID-19 and obesity. I will discuss it on two parts. One is the effect of COVID-19 on obesity, and second one is the effect of obesity on COVID-19. Most of the times which we encounter, we discuss about the effect of obesity on COVID-19. But another important factor is that all the obesity clinics, all the bariatric surgeries, all are withheld nowadays. The people who are obese, they are afraid of going to the clinics, they are afraid of going to all their chambers because of having the communicable diseases. But obesity, such an important non-communicable disease, as well as it has lot of other complications like hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cerebrovascular diseases, which are often underplayed in this time of COVID-19. So my emphasis will be that as we all are concerned about COVID-19, we should all also be concerned about the morbid obesity and all the obesity related complications even in the time of COVID-19. We cannot downplay the importance of obesity, which we are doing for last 5 to 6 months.
So if that is the topic that we would take forward, then the first question that comes to our mind is obesity a risk factor for COVID-19?
You have asked a very pertinent question. Actually, obesity is associated with lot of important comorbidities. One is hypertension, second one is diabetes mellitus, third one is ischemic heart disease, fourth one is atherosclerotic, all the cerebrovascular lung disease. So all of the factors are associated with more severe COVID-19 infection. We all know the COVID-19 may present from an asymptomatic to mildly symptomatic to a severe ARDS. The chances of having complications are more with those having more and more comorbidities, and as we all know, the chances of getting comorbidities are much more in obese individual. So the chances of having severe COVID-19 infection are more in the obese patient, and more the obesity or more the BMI, the chances of getting the severity or chances of getting the complication gets increased by 1 to 2% for every comorbidities, and also the chances of getting or acquiring the infection, not only the complication but also the risk of acquiring the infection gets more in the presence of COVID-19, in the presence of obesity.
So is COVID-19 more severe in obese people?
Absolutely. Already discussed with all of you, the COVID-19 ARDS or COVID-19 obesity is a state of inflammatory condition. It is a pro-inflammatory state. What I mean by pro-inflammatory state is that there is a difference between infection and inflammation. Whenever a virus enters into the body, that is infection. But we all know COVID-19 results in a pro-inflammatory state. Now obesity by per se is a pro-inflammatory state, so it gets multiplied, that due to obesity inflammation as well as inflammation due to COVID-19, and it results in a more inflammatory state, and the complications of COVID-19 are to a large part is contributed by the cytokine storm. The chances of having cytokine storm gets more and more in presence of obesity as well as obesity related complications. So the cause of cytokine storm is because of the inflammation. This is the most important thing of having more and more severe COVID-19 complications in presence of obesity because of this pro-inflammatory state.
So, how does obesity influence the outcome of COVID-19?
Obesity influences the outcome of COVID-19 in two ways. The first or foremost is that whenever a patient of COVID-19, the most common presentation or most common cause of hospital admission is due to shortness of breath. Now, what happens in COVID-19? There is inflammation of the lung parenchyma, and at the later part of the disease there is presence of the organization and fibrosis. Now, in presence of inflammation, to date, the most important drug is corticosteroid, and also in presence of hyperinflammation state, sometimes we used to give tocilizumab. Now, both the corticosteroid as well as tocilizumab results in a profound immunosuppression, and it also results in chances of getting the secondary infection or chances of getting the hospital acquired infection gets more and more manifold in presence of the immunosuppressive state. So obesity itself is also an immunosuppressive state, and the chances of acquiring secondary infection also gets 2 to 3-fold increased in presence of obesity. Second most important thing is that in obese patient the diaphragm gets elevated, so there is a decline of the functional residual capacity as well as there is a decline of the FVC, and all the lung capacity and lung volume gets decreased in presence of obesity. It is very difficult to ventilate a obese individual rather than a non-obese individual, because of the obesity the closing volume, that is many parts of the lung parenchyma gets closed or the alveoli gets closed. So whenever a patient of COVID-19 gets intubated and put into mechanical ventilation, the difficulty of ventilating a lung parenchyma of obese individual gets manifold. Another factor, it is very difficult to also intubate a morbidly obese individual. So the chances of having repeated intubation attempt or may lead to some chances of getting more and more infection as well as some airway injury. Fourth important factor is that in presence of obesity, the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of all the drugs gets changed. So the drug doses, we have to be very cautious in deciding what doses of drug we should administer in patients of obesity. And fifth important factor is that, as I already told, obesity is associated with lot of complications. So the chances of having a CVS manifestation or chances of having some acute coronary event or acute cerebrovascular event gets increased in presence of obesity.
So we have a question on Facebook. The question says, I have become obese because of hypothyroidism as well as hypertension. Even after taking less food, I am unable to pull down my weight. What to do?
This is a question what you have asked regarding the weight reduction. This is another fact which I want to emphasize. Like I am a pulmonologist, so what you should do is to consider a dietitian or someone related directly with some bariatric surgery, or initially you should consult a dietitian. Now all the obesity clinics and all the bariatric surgery, all the consult chambers, they are getting closed down because of the fear that one, if they visit the dietitian, he may or she may encounter the COVID-19. So this is the question you asked is strictly implied to the dietitian. Being a pulmonologist, it will be difficult for me, and also it will be difficult for me in a phase.
So the next question that we have is, are there any ICU related complications for obese people?
Absolutely. The ICU related complication, as I told you earlier, the chances pneumonia, COVID lung in presence of obesity because of the decrease in functional residual capacity, as well as decrease in the FEV1, decrease in the FVC, and also because of the elevation of the diaphragm, the space becomes less, and also obesity related all the complication gets increased in presence of morbidly obesity, and both the influence of obesity on COVID-19 as well as the influence of COVID-19 on obesity.
So another very interesting question that we have is that adults with obesity, do they have longer viral load and lower vascular effect?
this is a study which has come out in the New England Journal of Medicine, that we all know the COVID-19 involves the ACE2 receptor. In obese individual, there is preponderance of the ACE2 inhibitors, which have a direct affinity for the COVID-19 viruses. So in presence of obesity, probably there may be higher amount of viral load, although these are all in the theoretical stage, or these are in the early nascent stage of publication. So more and more publications are required to derive a conclusive diagnosis. Second important thing is that obesity, as I already told you, that is a state of pro-inflammation. So all the inflammatory mediators get increased in presence of obesity. Because of that, and COVID-19, the complications are due to increased amount of inflammation. So 2 plus 2 4 occurs. Instead, I will say that 2 plus 2 5 occurs here, because there is a synergistic effect, that it is not an additive effect. The complications gets more in presence of obesity with COVID-19.
Sir, someone on Facebook says, I have typhoid. Is it required to test COVID or not? Shall I continue with typhoid treatment?
Question that because most of the time the typhoid diagnosis is based on the some false Whittle test, and even 1:20 or 1:40 titer has been taken as a positive test. Any individual who is having fever at the current time should be taken as a suspected COVID-19 unless proved otherwise. So I will definitely recommend you to undergo a COVID-19 RT-PCR or any kind of COVID-19 test, the best even antigen or gene expert, which is be possible or which will be available to you.
The next question is, sir, I have chronic liver disease with NASH and obesity. I have strong breathing difficulty as well. So what can I do?
The question is that for how long you are having this breathing difficulty. In NASH, if you have the breathing difficulty for 4 to 5 days, then you should think of COVID-19. But if you are having the breathing difficulty, suppose for 10 to 15 years or 10 to 15 months, then you have to undergo a HRCT thorax to look whether there has been any pleural effusion or not, because you have to derive the etiology of the shortness of breath, rather than having you may also have some kind of obstructive airway disease. On that case, you have to take some bronchodilators, inhaler, short term or long term. So it all depends upon the etiology of the cause, rather than giving some symptomatic management. And shortness of breath is unlike fever. In fever, you may give antipyretics for symptomatic relief, but in shortness of breath, you cannot have immediate effect. You have to have the diagnosis, otherwise it will be very difficult for you to have immediate as well as long term effect.
So coming back to COVID-19 and obesity treatment, has COVID-19 become a barrier to obesity treatment?
Absolutely. The most unfortunate part that, and no publication as well as no TV or no electricity media is covering this aspect. Everyone is so afraid of COVID-19 that the persons with malignancy, persons with heart diseases, persons with CKD, they are also not even coming to the clinic. So obesity, everyone is thinking that it is a non-communicable disease. So and whatever thing at the present moment, it is better to avoid to go to the clinics. And so the most of the individuals with obesity, and also because of the prolonged lockdown, most of the individual, and also for work from the home facilities are going on lot of the sectors. So most of the individuals are confined to their home. They are not having any kind of physical activity, and because of the sedentary lifestyle. So the obesity, the number of obese individuals, there has been a lot of publication, lot of literature regarding the number of obese population, which has increased up to by 2% over the last span of over the last 6 months. The most important thing is the lockdown and the work from home capacity. Because of that, everyone is having the sedentary lifestyle. And second factor is that the morbidly obese individual whom used to go to the few clinics or obesity clinics, as well as to the physicians, they are not, as well as dietitians, they are not going. So because of that, obesity is a special, it requires some special kind of management, it requires expertise. It is not that you stop taking food and you will reduce weight. It requires some scientific expertise, as well as it requires some multidisciplinary management nowadays. So these kind of management of obesities are nowadays not done because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sir, next two questions are somewhat correlated. First is, do you think healthcare professionals who are dedicated to obesity management have been diverted to COVID-19 care? One. Second, does this result in obesity clinics and bariatric surgeries being closed for the time being?
Absolutely, because most of what we learned over the period of 6 months is that we lost a lot of healthcare professionals, starting from doctors to nurses, to physiotherapists, to dietitians, to operational persons. We are having a very difficult period to organize the manpower, because you cannot force an individual to do their shift more than 8 hours wearing a PPE. It is very difficult to work more than 6 to 8 hours. So we require a lot of manpower to run a COVID-19 ward, as well as COVID-19 ICU, as well as COVID-19 HDU. So the persons who are working in different specialties or working in other kind of activities, even non-clinicals, they are also being forced to work in the COVID-19 ward because of the lack of manpower, and because of that, the most of the non-communicable disease, not all the non-communicable diseases, they are also having a lack of manpower, and they are also having they are also running on almost 1 to 2 doctors or 1 to 2 healthcare practitioners per clinic. So because of that, most of the clinics and most of the routine surgeries are getting shut down. So this is an important factor, that these complications or these disciplines should not be underplayed. We are rightly emphasizing, or we are rightly putting our focus on COVID-19, but we should also put our focus on those non-communicable diseases, because the non-communicable diseases, it is not the obesity, but it is the obesity related complications, that is the cardiovascular, cerebrovascular, diabetes, as well as peripheral vascular diseases. We should not downplay these important diseases, as well as the disease related complications.
Thank you, sir. So for the typhoid treatment question that we had, our viewer has responded to that. They have done a nasopharyngeal swab test on the 2nd of September. The report was negative. Is it still required to test COVID, or can they continue with the typhoid treatment?
Okay, the important thing is whether you are having still fever or not, and the date of onset of the fever. In COVID-19, there is a specific incubation period of 4 to 14 days. If you have the fever and 14 days has already passed on, then the chances of getting COVID-19 is less. But if the 4 to 14 days period is still there, and also another factor is that it depends upon the expertise of taking the swab. One RT-PCR negative does not rule out COVID-19. If you are symptomatic, if you are having persistent fever, then my recommendation to you to undergo a HRCT thorax. If it shows some kind of patches or some kind of obesities which are suggestive, in last 6 months we learned a lot how to interpret a HRCT thorax of COVID-19 pneumonia. So you may undergo an HRCT thorax if it was suggestive. If you are having clinical symptoms, if you are having no fever, no shortness of breath, or nothing at the present moment, then you may not undergo COVID-19 test. But if you are having persistent fever, and also the blood count is important, because in COVID-19 usually there is decrease in WBC count with a lymphopenia. So it depends upon your clinical presentation.
Thank you, sir, for your time with our audience here. I'm sure they have more questions, and they would pour in, and we would get them answered by you as well. We thank you again, and before we close for this session, like a few words of encouragement for the young people out there who are tending to get obese because of lack of exercise or other habits. Any suggestions, any life habits which you would like to share with them?
I will advise everyone, starting from young to elderly population. You may go out of your home. This is a wrong thing. If you maintain social isolation, if you it is in the morning hours or in the afternoon hours, you may resume your physical activities. Even you may continue your physical activity even while staying at home. But my earnest request to all of you will be to spend at least half an hour every day in some kind of physical activities. This should be because every kind of physical activity, whatever little it may be, it will help you in the long run. For any, forget COVID-19 hopefully will go in 6 months, 1 year or 2 years, but the complications of obesity as well as the obesity, it will last for years. So we should not overlook this factor, and we at least for half an hour, 15 minutes, if you incorporate some kind of physical activity, it will be helpful and it will be beneficial for you.
Thank you, sir, for your time. That is where we end today, and we look forward to connecting with you soon.